If you're looking for the answer to the title of this video, yes, of course it's worth it going to the F1 race. Hearing those cars in person and seeing them in person, I think it might add about 3 centimeters of length to your penis every year you go to one, or every time you go to one. So yes, I would say it's worth it to probably go to the F1 race if you can make it to one. So that's the answer to the title. So if that's all you came here for, you could leave. If you want to stay for some sort of ride that I'm going to put you on, then you could strap in, buckle up, just sit with me, and we'll have a calm little story time. And when I went to the Montreal GP, I went to the Montreal GP in 2022, and I also went in 2023. There are way more striking stories from when I went the first time in 2022, so that's what we'll get into, okay? We'll just start with the trek to get there. Crossing the border to get into Canada might be the easiest thing that anyone has ever done in their life. They don't give a fuck. They'll let anything into Canada. You could have 35 pounds of C4 in your trunk and they'll still let you in. They don't give a fuck. So we go to the guy at the fucking toll. So we'll pretend this white car is the guy at the toll. So I'm sitting I'm actually shotgun because my cousins took the scat pack up. So I'm in the passenger seat. One of my cousins is in the back and one of my cousins is driving. So we turn to the guy. He's like, what brings you here to Canada? And of course, this fucking guy, I hate to be like stereotypical, but he did have that, oh, Canada, eh? Oh, we're from Canada, eh? Sorry, eh? He had that fucking accent. So it was like, come on, dude, at least try a little bit harder so you don't stereotype the whole fucking country for all these Americans that are coming in to see this race. So he went to the guy. He literally was like, you got any guns in the car? And we were like, nah. And my cousin that was driving the car said the most stereotypical joke that he could have ever said in that moment. He said, oh, just the guns that are hanging off my fucking shoulders, and talking about his bicep tricep area. And that shit, to me, that wasn't funny. That flopped. The guy didn't even laugh. Like, he just like kind of stonewalled us, and he was like, all right, have fun in Canada. And that was it. When you get into Canada, you get hit with the craziest flashbang of Frenchness that you could. Immediately, it's just all French. So as an American, I just start shitting my pants because I don't know where anything is. It's discombobulating for an American boy like myself. We bought the tickets to the race really late in 2022. So we didn't really have that much time to book a hotel in Montreal so that we could actually get to the race in like a specific time. So we had to get some sort of like bootleg hotel. And that was also a Papa John's and a Taco Bell like on the base floor. And then there's like hotel rooms upstairs. So we were in East Bumfuck, Canada, wherever. It was just like the grasslands. And then there was like a parking lot with a motel next to a highway. So that's where we like stayed it was like 45 minutes out from Montreal. So we would have to make that trek every time going into the city. There was no Wi-Fi, and during our stay at the hotel, the electricity went out. So, and we also like the water went out or some shit. So it was just 4 grown men, like big ass dudes. Me and my cousins and my brother, that's who I went with. We're some big ass motherfuckers, bro. Like, we're the type of people that like, we're not afraid to like introduce ourselves to like a buffet, or like if there's food in front of us, like we'll say, hey, how are you? How you doing? My name's like whatever the fuck. Like, we introduce ourselves to the food. Like, we get busy when there's food in front of us and we can demolish it. So 4 big ass dudes shitting in one toilet, and you can only flush it a few times a day. It was like I was in fucking the penitentiary is what it felt like at the time. It was haunted. We had some girl followed us to the room. Some like 15-year-old girl like tailed us to the room. We didn't even know. And then we looked behind us at the fucking door and we're like, what's going on? And there was this fucking girl that was just standing there, and she didn't even say anything. We were like, well, can we help you? Like, what's going on? And then she just turned around and walked away. So I'm editing my video, right? I'm watching this little true crime thing on the YouTube ski. This fucking therapist is analyzing this girl or some shit like that. I really got it in the background because I like to have something quiet in the background when I'm editing these fucking masterpieces. I realized that what I'm saying in this clip, in the heat of the moment, it doesn't really make sense or strike the audience how I wanted it to, okay? So let me just add a little bit more further explanation into the situation with this ghost girl. So we are convinced, the 4 of us, that we saw a ghost in this hotel. Obviously, that's kind of a joke, but it was a very weird moment. So we get home from the race, maybe not the race, maybe like qualifying or something, but we get back, and all 4 of us are going up to the room, and our room was kind of in the back corner of the hotel. And all of a sudden, we get to our fucking hotel door. My brother and one of my cousins walks in to the hotel room, and me and my other cousin are still out there, and we notice behind us there's this girl that's like just standing there with like long brown hair and brown eyes and like fully clothed and everything like that. She looked kind of normal, but obviously it was creepy. But we just looked, and I guess she probably didn't speak English because we were in French Canada, French fucking whatever the fuck, like they all spoke French there. So we looked back at her and we're like, can we help you? Like, what's going on? And then she just turned around and walked away. And then we went in the hotel room and we were like, obviously fucking scared because it's like that whole trope of like creepy girl in the hotel. It's literally like the fucking Shining, except there wasn't a twin. So I was freaking out. But then we kept periodically checking the fucking peephole. We had to take turns checking the peephole because no one wanted to because we were all fucking scared. But yeah, that was it. And nothing ever happened. Like, she never came back. We never saw her again. But it was just fucking weird. So I don't know what that was about. Canada, if you got a fucking explanation for me, if you guys got haunted women going around and terrorizing you guys throughout the country, let me know, because that would bring some fucking closure to me, because I feel like I need an exorcism after that. One thing about Montreal, the city, is it's the most under construction city in the entire globe, I think. You can't make one left turn without there being a lot of orange. Wherever you turn, there's a lot of orange, meaning that there's a lot of fucking construction pylons, tape, people with hard hats on. It's like, boys, what are we doing? Figure this shit out. Isn't Montreal, it's probably an old city, I'd assume, because they're still speaking fucking French. So it's got to be an old city. So they need to figure that shit out. And with the whole construction, especially when you got a Grand Prix in your city and you know these fucking Americans are coming, you're setting a bad example. You're making America think that we have the fucking upper hand on you, which we do. But, I mean, at least try to make it, when Matt Marauder's coming to town, you got to know, like, all right, let's make it spiffy for Matt. So let's talk about the race itself. So getting in, I got my shit from SeatGeek, and let me tell you about SeatGeek. Worst fucking ticket service you could ever imagine. I bought my tickets. The race is in June around Father's Day weekend. I bought my tickets in like fucking February for like $300 just for general admission. By the way, the two races that I went to, I didn't sit in the grandstand. I was all general admission. So basically we'll get to how the sitting situation was and what I actually got to fucking see during the race. Getting in, there's obviously, so you got your old heads that are there with like their old Renault memorabilia, like, the old Renault shit when it was like Alonso era, when it was like light blue, like the team spirit shit, light blue and yellow. So you got your old heads wearing that. You got your old heads wearing the Ferrari Marlboro shit. You're always going to have the old heads at the races. And then you have your younger generation that are wearing like mostly McLaren, Mercedes, big Mercedes. Obviously, you're going to have a swamp of Red Bull wherever you go, because people who just started watching, they're like, let me root for Red Bull because they're the best team, and Max Verstappen's the second coming of Jesus Christ, so let's vote for it. So I don't blame you for, if you want to just pick a team, pick Red Bull, because you can't go wrong because they're just so fucking dominant. Personally, I'm a Ferrari fan, so that explains why in my videos I'm so fucking pissed all the time, is because I have to deal with being a Ferrari fan. So that should fucking explain it for you guys. So getting in, you stand on the line, you got to get your tickets scanned. I got my tickets from SeatGeek, and the fucking day of the race, my tickets aren't fucking working. So I have to call SeatGeek, and I'm fucking on the phone with SeatGeek. So I'm like, all right, so I bought these tickets like months ago and they're not working. So I need you guys to figure it the fuck out and make sure, give me tickets so I can get into this fucking race. Because if not, I'm going to wreak havoc. Boop. First guy hangs up. The SeatGeek guy, first guy hangs up. Second guy, I call again. New guy picks up. I'm like, hey, buddy, the last guy just hung up on me. I need new tickets because I spent $300 on these fucking tickets. That's a lot of money. And I need to get into this race because the race is coming up. As a matter of fact, the race will be in like fucking 3 hours. So you got to get on it, whatever the fuck your name is. Boop, hangs up on me. Obviously, there was more conversation than that. I'm kind of summarizing it and giving you guys the fucking Spark Notes version of what actually was said over the phone. And also, over the phone, I was very respectful. I'm very respectful to customer service workers because, as you can see, I'm about to go into my job as a customer service motherfucker. So then, after the second guy hung up, I get a call from the third guy. I'm like, all right, hey, asshole, the last two guys hung up on me. You better not fucking hang up on me because I'll find where you live. So I don't want to get into too much of the details about the SeatGeek shit. It eventually ended up getting solved, and I ended up getting the tickets. But I had to buy the tickets from, like, when you are going into the race at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve. When you go into there, there's people when you get off the train to get there. There's people that are selling tickets, like hand tickets. So I had to like end up buying tickets from him, and then I got a refund from SeatGeek. So moral of the story, if you're watching this, don't go to SeatGeek. SeatGeek fucking blows. Okay, now we'll transition into getting into the race. So you have to stand in these lines, obviously, and get your bags checked. I don't know what it is with Canada. I bet for like American GPs, like they check the bags pretty, I mean, I could be wrong, but I'd assume they check the bags pretty heavily. In Montreal, you got a duffel bag, you bring it in, they open it, they look in, close it, and you're done. You could have 3 AK-47s, you could have a fucking nuclear warhead, you could have the fucking remote control to an intercontinental ballistic compact fucking missile, and they wouldn't even fucking care. It's just ridiculous. But honestly, that's fine, bro, because I was sneaking in mad drinks because I'm not paying $8 for a fucking Monster or $10 for a bottle of water. You can miss me with that. So I had like 3 bottles of water keistered in my ass. I had like 40 Gatorades in the duffel bag, and all I did was put a t-shirt over it, and they didn't even fucking know, those fucking idiots. But then again, they don't give a fuck probably. They're just like doing it for the money. Okay, boom. We get into the race. We're going around. For some reason, when you walk into the race, if you're not going onto a grandstand, if you're general admission, you can't really get to Sector 1. So, like, there's not really much general admission. What general admission is you could basically just plop down wherever the fuck you want as long as it's not on a grandstand and watch from wherever. But there was no general admission seating in Sector 1. So I was in Sector 2. Where I was sitting for both races, 2022 and 2023, was on that straight before the hairpin that transitions from Sector 2 to Sector 3. So those of you that are real F1 fans, you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't have to explain it any more than that. So it was just like you could see like the cars just go past. So like it was just like a straight like vroom. We sat there twice, and honestly, like, the seats were kind of dog shit. Like, you don't really have any clue as to what's going on in the race. It's just cool to see and hear the cars. Like, that's really the fucking only thing you could do. Everyone that was sitting there was basically on their phone while watching the race so they could see, like, what the fuck was going on during the race. Like, obviously, Max was winning, so, like, we knew that. And, dude, the Max gap in person is astronomical, bro. You see Max go by in his fucking Red Bull, and then you're just waiting like 3 minutes for the rest of the fucking cars to go. The Max gap is insurmountable, especially in real life. It's crazy. It's way more crazy than on TV. Qualifying was so badass because in Q3, when they're fully fucking pushing, it just gives you a whole new respect for the drivers. It's just so much more intimidating to see these cars in person. It makes you, because you're all on the TV and you're like, Esteban Ocon's a tall piece of shit. If he went out of the car, I could fucking get in there. But then you see them driving these cars in person, you're like, shit, that's actually kind of scary. Like, your butthole fucking puckers up when you see the cars go by. In qualifying, one funny story is we were at the hairpin standing for qualifying because I wanted to hear the cars downshift because that sounds fucking absolutely phenomenal when they downshift. And it was raining because in Canada, I guess it's always raining because every day in Canada when we went these past 2 years, it was fucking raining. But there was this Indian couple or Middle Eastern couple, something like that. Or hey, maybe they identify as white. I don't want to fucking judge. But they were standing, there was like puddles, mud puddles, because it was like grass and it was rainy. So it was mud puddles and we were up against the fence and they were standing in the fucking mud with their bare feet in the mud for like however long qualifying was. So like what, an hour and a half at the race? It was disgusting, and I'm going to put it into the video just to give you guys proof because I wanted to show you guys this. This was fucking horrible. So obviously you go and like everything's overpriced. It's just cool to be there, to be honest. It's cool to go and be there. I'm going back this year, but I'm not going to the race this year. I'm just going to Montreal just so I could, because the atmosphere in Montreal is so fucking, oh my God, it's the best place to be. So if anyone lives in like the New England area or like the upper US area and you're like trying to go to a race and you're like, I'm not trying to go to Texas or Miami or Vegas, dude, Canada's pretty cheap and it's not that far. It's not as far away as you think. Montreal's not as far away as you think. So it's awesome. Just got out of work. Let's see what this cold start's saying, boys. What do you think? Think that's a good idea? You guys want to hear the cold start? Here we go. Pretty good, huh? Pretty goddamn good. I hope my hand wasn't in the fucking frame of that. I'm thinking it was, because when I pulled the camera back, my whole fucking index finger was just nodulating up in the fucking camera. Just got out of work. It was a long shift. I forgot where I left off on my last clip that I posted, but I looked at the clock and I realized that I needed to fucking get in and actually do my job. So I had to stop the video, cut it short. I'm trying to think of where I was. I think I kind of summed up the race the best that I could. Moral of the story. Oh, there was one thing that I had to, that I wanted to say. Now, I'm passionate about this because I'm kind of done. You know that whole TikTok shit where it's like we done with the 90s with basketball, like with Michael Jordan and shit? Like, bro, Michael Jordan was playing against fucking, I don't know, janitors, bro. He's playing against fucking janitors and Walmart store clerks, bro, for the most part. There's all these fucking old motherfuckers that have so much, that are blinded by so much nostalgia with any sport. With basketball, football, baseball, soccer, especially with F1, you really got motherfuckers saying that Graham Hill is the best F1 driver that's ever lived. Now, don't get me wrong, dude. Graham Hill is good at F1 driving. Graham Hill is in the top 10 for me. I hope I'm saying the right person. I think it's Graham Hill, the one that looks like just some white guy when he drove in the 60s in Lotus, I believe. The shit about new F1, modern F1 cars sound bad or don't sound good, it's absolute fabrication. It's propaganda that these motherfuckers are spreading, to be honest, bro. Now, I get it. In 2014, they sounded like vacuum cleaners. They sounded like a fart in the wind. I understand the engines didn't sound good in 2014, 15, 16. In 2022, 23, 24, these V6 hybrid engines sound so fucking menacing in person. Realize that the V10s aren't coming back and the V6 hybrid is the future, and there's going to be different engines after that. The V10s sound the best. I'll give you that. The V8s sound the second best. I'll give you that. These V6 hybrids sound good as fuck, and you motherfuckers are trying to hate on them. If any of you ever read a comment that says bring back the V10s or the V6s sound like vacuum cleaners, I want you to do me a favor if you see that in a comment of any TikTok, YouTube video, and just tag me in it, and I will absolutely demolish whoever the fuck had the gall to say that, okay? That's all I gotta say. That's my Montreal Race GP recap. Montreal's cool, always raining. The race, get to a race. If you're a Formula 1 fan, get to a race. Get to the nearest race. Except for Monaco, that shit's unattainable. Monaco, Miami, Vegas, unattainable. So you're not gonna be able to have fun getting into that shit, you fucking idiot. I'm sorry. That's all I really gotta say. Thanks for watching. It's been real. Just got my breach at work, and now I'm getting to the business on this camera YouTube thing. So thank you and goodbye.